Now, by Celias Arbor, A Tale of Portsmouth Town was first published in the late 19th century and contains descriptions of Portsmouth at the time. It's just been republished by a former Southsea book dealer, and our reporter Shan Robins caught up with him to find out more.
At the top of Old Portsmouth High Street stands the old Landport Gate, a relic of the town walls that were demolished in the 1870s. By Celias Arbor combines a love story with an insight into what life was like in Old Portsmouth while the walls were up.
The Landport Gate was one of the main entrances into the town. It crossed a moat and was one of the few places where you could get inside of Old Portsmouth through the moat and fortifications, which were one of the most heavily fortified places in Northern Europe. This is pretty much all that's left. The gates used to connect up with a wall. The wall would go all the way around. It had bastions and ravelins all the way around. A ravelin is a type of fortification, and that's why Ravelin Park got its name over by the university.
The book was written by James Rice and Walter Besant.
Walter Besant was born here in St George's Square on the 14th of August 1836. He's one of the great unsung heroes of English literature and of writing in the 19th century. He founded the Society of Authors, which gives great support to writers and authors to this day, and was greatly admired by Rudyard Kipling and Sir Arthur Conan Doyle, also both Portsmouth connected. His descriptions of Portsmouth are really vivid and extraordinary.
A church features heavily as all the characters revolve around it, and Matt believes the church described is based on St George's.
Walter Besant lived in St George's Square, just across the way, and his childhood memories are absolutely central to the descriptions that he uses in the book. The description of St George's Square is exactly the same. It's an irregular square, he calls it, with a red brick church in the centre. And the description of the interior of the church, resting on four pillars, a gallery resting on four pillars, put up in the reign of the third George, is again exactly this. So yeah, it completely fits. Though many of the places mentioned in the book are now long gone, others still remain. This is St George's Church, called in the book by Besant St Faith's Church. The interior was largely lost during World War II, but it's still recognisable, and this is how Walter Besant describes it in By Celias Arbor. Inside, there was a great gallery running all round, and, because the church was crowded, a second gallery higher up at the west end contained the organ and choir. The pulpit, reading desk and clerk's desk, forming between them a giant staircase, stood in the middle of the church. In the aisles were placed, between the pew doors, little triangular brackets, on each of which sat, in evident discomfort, an aged lady clad in black. I used to wonder why these ancient dames came to church at all, considering the profound misery of those three-cornered brackets, but I believe there was a dole of some kind for them, and once a month they had the satisfaction of finishing the sacramental wine.
By Celias Arbor is a work of fiction that more than 100 years on has become of cultural significance.
Although it starts off as a love story, a love triangle between three characters at the centre of it, Celia, Laddie and Leonard, it reveals how Portsmouth was central to so much that was going on during the 19th century.
This is Shan Robins for That's Solent.